Welcome to session 2 of 5G Future Summit, from infinity and beyond with 5G Advanced. My name is Sylvia Kashish, and I'm the principal analyst at Ookla. And I was just chatting to Alex, as Ookla is not just speed test, but I would welcome you to come to Hall 2, visit our booth, and find out more about us. But it is not about me, it is about 5G Advanced. So let's begin with setting the scene around 5G and what we discussed today. So 5G has been around for quite a while, and the performance that we measure varies very much by country, by operators. We see speeds exceeding 1 gigabit per second for some users in the UAE, but less than 20 megabits per second for others in countries such as Japan or even Germany. And when we look at the performance, we also see that the median speeds in Q3 2022 were 168 megabit per second download, 18 megabits per second upload, and 24 milliseconds latency. And why am I mentioning this? It is very important that these are not the gigabit speeds that we were promised with 5G. So what we discussed today and what we unwrap is what is 5G Advanced, what sort of advancements to 5G it brings, and we'll discuss during the panel session some of the use cases. So what we will do today, and if we move to the next slide, yes, we will have quite a few speakers. We will have Alex Sinclair welcoming us and explaining what we do. We will have Bernard Dupree, Dr. Xiangjun Zhu welcoming us via video, Alan Law, John Gao, and Ting-Fang Ji. Afterwards, we'll have a panel discussion where we'll unwrap of some of the 5G advanced use cases. And at the end, I'll welcome you to stay till the very end. We'll have Henry coming up with a surprise. So with that, I would like to welcome Alex to the stage.
That starting out by insulting the moderator wasn't the smartest thing I've done this week. I did think Ookla was just a speed test. I've now been corrected. However, today we're here to discuss 5G Advanced, this 5G Advanced Summit. I want to thank in advance all of our speakers and panelists. You've just seen the names. That's a pretty amazing lineup. You may know that in September last year, the GSMA published a white paper advancing the 5G era. Then in October, our Verizon board member gave an interview with our own channel, Mobile World Live, saying that Verizon would be fast out of the gate as soon as the specification work in 3GPP has dropped. They also said they're looking forward to particular enhancements in network slicing, IoT devices, and AI solutions. You must also have heard the Qualcomm announcement about the X75 modem. It's the first 5G Advanced ready modem. So you can see that with 3GPP release 18 due in June 2024, 5G Advanced is almost upon us. Now, there are so many 5G advancements in the specs that it would take far too much time to even list them all, but just to give you a smattering of them, you've got mobility enhancements, global connectivity, of course enhanced uplink, which is the one that's getting a lot of attention, support for non-terrestrial networks, which is also a very popular topic at the moment, sub-decimeter position accuracy, another one, extended reality, time-sensitive communications. But there's more. There's also support for IoT verticals, RedCap in particular, and side-link enhancements. But it'll also offer improved sustainability by using AI and ML data-driven designs to improve not just user experience, but also the network operations. So we've got an awful lot to talk about. Luckily, we've got some of the best experts in the world to help you. I hope you really enjoyed today's program, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex. And with that, I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Bernard Dupree, Vice President, Core Networks Automation Security at Orange.
Okay, thank you, Sylvia. Sorry. Hello, everybody. I'm delighted to share with you Orange 5G experience here because Barcelona is one of the 3 cities where we just launched this month 5G-SA. Brand new 5G core up running now in Spain, and it's the first country in the group, so very important milestone for the whole team. Where we are in Orange, I start by this, where we are with the 5G, let's say, story. We started 5G in 2019. Of course, it's NSA, so we've still the 4G core network. Romania was the first country in the group, quickly followed by France, by Spain, the rest of Europe. And in last November, 5G also reached Africa. You know that we have a large footprint in Africa and EMEA region. And so we are happy to launch 5G in Botswana in November last year. And more will come in Africa this year with more 5G launching. So 5G is also popping up on the African continent. And as I was mentioning in my introduction, the breakthrough we did is 5G-SA, so to deploy the new core network, new SDM, subscriber data management, new signaling. The whole 5G-SA chain is up and running in Spain and will be followed in 23-24 by our other geography in Europe. It's really based on local market conditions that we decide to launch this quarter, this month, 5G-SA. So more announcements will come on this later this year. As you know, one of the key points of 5G, there are so many capabilities it brings. It's really crucial that the whole industry, I would say the whole world, is able to touch 5G and influence and use it. So to be able to do this in practice, what we have implemented is some 5G labs that are already places where you have 5G SA up and running. Everybody can join. We've got some public administration authority, some big company, some startups, of course. A lot of startups come with their application saying, I want to see how 5G can boost my application in terms of video, in terms of everything. So it's really something that works. You can see by the number, more than 2,000 companies were accompanied thanks to this. We are already at almost 200 running projects. Just one illustration, you can see the area, so it can touch B2C with entertainment, but a lot, of course, is on B2B with a smart city, with Industry 4.0, and last but not least, e-health. Maybe one example in the Industry 4.0, if you have time to visit Orange booth, you will see a demo of with the famous robot dog done by a company, and together with this company, we made an application of technician visiting a place that cannot be accessible by human or that is too far. And the technician with a helmet is fully controlling what the dog is doing, seeing, activating, and so on. So that's just one illustration, but it really shows that everybody, all industry has to put their hands on 5G. We as operator will not do it. It has to be done and by everybody, so that really we explore the whole possibilities of it. So this is, I am presented what we see at the menu of the restaurant, let's say the 5G offer. Now let's move back in the kitchen to see a bit what's going on, let's say, in the background. Maybe you don't realize it, but as in charge of technical team, core network in Orange Innovation, all this implementation of 5G SA is done together with a complete way to manage networks. Of course, maybe if there are IT colleagues in the room, they will say, okay, cloud native, we do it for years, it's easy. When you apply it to a huge machine like the core network, 5G core, SDM, subscriber data management, is not as easy. And so we try to summarize this disruption that are coming together with 5G. The first one is disaggregation. Network is becoming software. One example is Open RAN. You have probably heard about it. We announced at the Mobile World Congress that we will test Open RAN together with Vodafone in Romania. It's a RAN sharing network, so it's one example where you can pick different PCs with different partners. So it's this disaggregation. The second part is virtualization. I guess most of you are familiar with it. So software and moving as much as possible to commoditize the hardware. To be honest, we are at the beginning of this journey. When it comes to RAN, you have to emit some signal to have some, let's say, physical things at the end of the day. So RAN will be commoditized probably later than the core network, but in core we can put a lot of network function on, let's say, standard servers. The next one is automation, and it's really crucial because of all this complex and ever-growing feature of 5G. We need to continuously test and upgrade our network much more often than we were doing. We used to upgrade once a year, and now we would like to implement CI/CD approach. We tested it significantly on signaling. So this is going. And why we do all this? Because we want to have, let's say, the customer, B2B, B2C, having the hand on our network, network as a service offer, so on demand using APIs. So we do all this transformation so that the network become available as a service. Our vision in Orange is that 5G advanced feature will be first used in industry. And here our vision strategy is to leverage as much as possible on our main core network, but this is not available yet. What we do today is point number one, that is to provide to a company all in a box, core plus RAN, or core only if you are using the public radio network. And then thanks to 5G managing slicing, we will be able to use what is called local breakout, so leverage on the core network, and then virtual mobile private network. So even the smaller company can benefit from the same differentiated QoS, slicing, and so on. Also, one challenge we have as large operator is we have legacy 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G. What we did in Orange Innovation is to say, let's imagine we start from scratch, what it happened. So it's our flagship project called PKO, where we develop a 5G standalone cloud-native network from scratch. We have it on a classical infrastructure. We ported it also on Amazon Cloud, and both are working perfectly. And Amazon announced a partnership with some operator, including Orange, on a mobile private network offer, leveraging on this. Slicing will enable all this, but slicing, it will be a long story. Today we'll be able, by the end of the year, to manage maybe 2 slices, one general, one industry. And it's only in 2 years we think that we'll be able to manage dynamic slicing end-to-end completely in the network. So slicing, it's a long journey. We are only at the beginning. What comes next? Plenty of things are coming next. One of the messages is to say all that explained about this network continuously evolving is a bit the 5G story. I would say for us there is not 5G A, 5G B, 5G Advanced, and so on. It's really a continuous rollout of new innovation. I just show here what's coming next in the standards. I mentioned example on extended reality. Maybe one point also on the IoT world. 5G will be able to accommodate basic sensor, ambient power IoT. It's really something green to be able to use devices that will just feed energy from the air. They will not consume any electricity, so it's one very promising area. Network power savings. As you know, Orange has a goal to be net carbon neutral by 2040, and we need the 5G network to be really exemplary on this low energy consumption. So to summarize, 5G is a journey. There will not be a revolution, 5G classical, 5G advanced. It's really a continuous rollout of innovation that will flow to the whole industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bernard. And now we will watch a short video that Dr. Zhang Junju, Chief Specialist at China Mobile, has prepared for us.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Xiaodong Xu, Chief Specialist of China Mobile. I'm very glad to join this session. I really want to have some time, a chance to be with you offline. So, looking forward to the future opportunity. Today, my topic is accelerate 5G advanced adoption. First, I'd like to share with you the 5G development status of China Mobile. With more than 1 million base stations activated across cities and counties, China Mobile has built the largest and high-quality 5G standalone network. We have more than 600 million people now using 5G network. Actually, now there are more. And our 5G DOU reached 21 to 25 gigabytes, twice the 4G DOU. And the up of 5G is 1.6 times compared to the average. This means 5G is getting more data revenue from our customers. And not only the customer market, but also the business market. We think the 5G contributes a lot for us, which brings us numerous use cases. We have already built over 300 commercial model cases and more than 11,000 industry commercial use cases around the whole country. Based on the 5G commercial experience and service development trends, we find that there are three main driving forces for 5G evolution: low cost, low complexity, greener are the primary demands. In addition, with the development of immersive service and also the wearable service industry, we think the customer market requires higher data rate, low latency, and good guarantee of the quality of service. The DOU will also increase in the next few years. We believe it will be doubled and even more. For the business market, we see the ultra-high data rate, ultra-low latency, and ultra-high reliability, higher security, deterministic rate latency, as well as the middle and long-distance EIoT, also allowing us ambient IoT, and the integrated sensing and communication are also desired by the industry. China Mobile, together with the industry partners, have released 5G evolution innovation and industry train integration action plan to promote the 5G evolution in three major directions: advanced network, advanced intelligent system, and advanced energy efficiency industry. And we also promote 10 key technologies, including cross-layer optimization, extended IoT, ambient IoT termed in 3GPP, integrated sensing and communications, energy saving, etc. We hope 5G Advanced will further enhance the network capability, that is 10 times of existing 5G performance, improve network energy efficiency, and also support some new capability to satisfy the new emerging scenarios and services. For example, the immersive service like XR, autonomous vehicle, etc. Call for more collaboration and innovation in industry. We released a series of white papers like 5G-A, new technology capabilities, and the industrialization white paper last June. The 5G advanced industry is accelerating. At the end of 2022, China Mobile jointly released the 5G advanced dual train convergence yearbook with our partners. We have worked with more than 60 industry partners to yield 78 achievements, including cross-layer synergy. Technology increases XR service capacity by 5 times. Integrated sensing and communications. Prototype realize real-time tracking of vehicle trackings, and the sensing distance exceeds 800 meters for the first time. Extended IoT, the industry's first attempt, have the breakthrough of 200 meters coverage distance, more than 20 times higher than traditional RFID technology. Looking ahead to the future, China Mobile will continue to promote the innovative deployment of 5G Advanced in terms of a top-level design, technology research, standard setting, industrial promotion, and application innovation. Together with our partners, we will establish a 5G Advanced industrial innovation foundation to promote key technology from single-point verification to system verification for new applications. For this kind of development and test, we will closely collaborate with the industrial partners to achieve deep integration of the innovation chain and the industrial chain. This is my last point. The 5G Advanced industry is accelerating. China Mobile will continue to devote itself to the in-depth integration of the innovation chain and the industry chain, accelerate the streamlining of more key links, and build a solid innovation engine to provide momentum and fundamental guarantee for the whole industry. Only the people who are enthusiastic enough to change the world are the ones who do. Let's collaborate closely to accelerate the 5G Advanced adoption. That's all my speech. Thanks for your attention.
And now it's time for our next speaker, Alan Law, Innovation and Solution Executive General Manager from Zain.
Hello, everyone. Today, I want to talk about the amazing possibility of 5G advanced technology. As technology continues to grow at a rapid pace, we are now experiencing the benefit in terms of data speed, low latency, and more reliable connectivity, and thanks to 5G network. But the excitement doesn't stop there. We are also looking forward on how 5G Advanced empowers AI innovations and take us even to a greater heights. 5G Advanced and AI, and the hot topic for AI today is ChatGPT. Can I see a show of hands who started using ChatGPT? Right, quite a number of us. And what is it? For those who haven't started using it yet, let me give you a brief introduction of what is it, and you'll be also fascinated like how I first find it out. It became a friend, a tutor, someone who is knowledgeable. It is available almost all the time, and I can ask any open questions. So what exactly is ChatGPT? It is an AI language model developed by OpenAI, has quickly gained popularity with 1 million registered users within its first 5 days, and reaching 100 million within just 2 months. The most popular apps that we know, TikTok, took 9 months to achieve that, and Instagram took 30 months. This rapid adoption is a testament to its powerful ability to provide instant access to knowledge, making it easier for users to turn information into knowledge. And with ChatGPT, the world is shifting from an information age into a knowledge age, where knowledge is right at your fingertips. Once I start using it, I use less of a search engine. When you're using search engine, you are searching for information and gather this information and turn it into a knowledge that you want to acquire. But with these AI tools, the knowledge is right in front of you. So the entry level to a knowledge is being reduced. Artificial intelligence, AI, is one of the fastest growing fields of research and development, with applications ranging from self-driving car to personalized healthcare. However, one of the most significant challenges in advancing AI is the need of large amount of data to train the machine learning models. The possibility of AI applications are even more exciting now with the introduction of 5G Advanced network. The combination of high speed, low latency that is benefited from 5G Advanced along with the high computing power and big data, has opened up a world of new opportunity for AI applications. So I believe the future is bright, and 5G advanced technology is sure to play a vital role in shaping it. I'm excited to share with you one of Zain's latest and most promising AI project. We have an ongoing trial with Google, and it's called Contact Center AI, CCAI. It was a showcase in Leap Technology Conference in Riyadh 3 weeks ago. We all know that the customer service is a key for any businesses, and contact center is really at the center of it. However, providing an interactive and seamless customer experience without increasing costs has always been a challenge. Interactive voice response, IVR system, sometimes might be helpful, but it's not interactive enough and can often lead to poor customer experience. On the other hand, hiring more customer agents can be very, very expensive. So imagine you call a call center and you are being greeted by press 1 for English, press 2 for Spanish, press 1 for this and press 2 for that, maybe press 17 for something else. By the time you reach 17, most probably you already forgotten why you make the call in the first place. This is where CCI comes in. It uses advanced learning models and natural language processing to complement humans' limitation to be able to mimic what human will be able to do to having a good conversations with the customer over the customer contact center, right? So this means business can offer a more interactive and a more personalized customer experience without incurring extra costs. And we think that with CCI, we are taking the customer service to the next level. Autonomous optimization. This is a solution for radio optimization engineers or radio optimization departments. The table compare the capabilities between human and AI brains, specifically in terms of the data required to learn, quantitative optimization, and customizing each situations, abstract reasoning, and creativity. It shows that human requires less data to learn, but struggles with quantitative optimizations and customizations, while AI excels in this task, but struggles with creativity and abstract reasoning. This is where I think AI brain and human brain can complement each other with their own weaknesses and strengths. In today's world, mobile operators face the challenge of optimizing their network to deliver the best possible customer experience. 20 years ago, when I was an optimization engineer, we are only having a few services, 2G voice call, SMS, and maybe GPRS, right? But today, there are so many enormous level of services that's being provided. Netflix, YouTube, cloud gaming, video over LTE, voice over LTE, BONR, you name it. And we all know that radio network is the backbone for a mobile network. And it's essential to ensure that it is always performing at its best. The network is always dynamic. Parameters with traffic movement changing all the time. What works for one customer may not work for another. I might be a gamer. Someone who is sitting next to me who is a video streamer, we will have different requirements in terms of having the most optimum radio conditions, right? So high-value customers will require fast data speed, and gamers may require low latency to ensure smooth gameplay. By using AI, we can analyze vast amount of data in real time, and this will enable us to identify patterns and make intelligent decisions for us to be able to get the insight that human may not be able to see. This enables us to optimize the network more efficiently and ensuring that each customer gets the best possible network experience. Autonomous radio network optimization not only help us in managing the network capacity more efficiently, but also help us address the challenges of climate change and sustainability by reducing energy consumption and managing capacity more efficiently. So we believe that combination of AI and 5G advanced technology, or even 5G, is a game changer for mobile industry, and we are excited to be at the forefront of this innovation. I want to try to stir the emotion of this hall a little bit here by sharing my thoughts on how AI will change our life in the future, specifically on how it will bring the dead back to life. The advancement of technology has always been a fascinating topic for me, and the way AI is progressing is even more so. One of the most exciting developments in AI is the concept of Metaverse, which I believe will be the future of all our interactions. A compelling example of this can be seen with the bidding of Expo 2030 in Riyadh. The ambitious goal of attracting 1 billion visitors from across the globe is set to be achieved by making the event digitally accessible through the Metaverse. As we move towards living in the Metaverse, all our interactions will be digitized. Our emotions, our environment, our surroundings will be recorded and stored. This data can be used to train deep learning models to reflect on a human behavior and personality. So in the future, this AI will make it possible for a loved one to interact with their passed away friends and family members. They will be able to see and talk to a hologram that will act and react exactly like the person did when they were still alive forever. However, there are some ethical concerns that we need to address as we move towards this future. How do we ensure that the AI accurately reflects the person's behavior and personality, and what happened to the data once the person has passed away? In conclusion, the future of AI is exciting and the possibilities are endless. The ability to bring the dead back to life in Metaverse is just one of the many ways that AI will change our life. As we continue to develop this technology, we need to ensure that we use it responsibly and ethically. I want to point out something amazing that you might not have realized yet. The picture you just saw from the previous slides, remember the 5G Advanced in green, contact center with Google, optimization, autonomous optimization, holograms, all were created by AI. And that's right, this picture of me was generated entirely by AI too. And you have to admit, it looks really realistic and amazing, right? It just goes to show how powerful AI can be and all the incredible things that it can create for our future. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan, and I think we all would like to see pictures like that of ourselves. I would like to now introduce John Gao, 5.5G General Manager from Huawei.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm John Gao. It's my pleasure to share what I'm thinking for 5.5G with you today. Yeah. So every 10 years, in the mobile industry, there will be a new generation. And in the meanwhile, there will be a half generation. So the same as 5G. The half generation used to protect the invest of each generation, and also will enhance network capability, and also enlarge the commercial scope. So for 5.5G, we can see in the coming few years a very clear trend. First one, for the 2C market, we can see the people require the dynamic user experience. And for the IoT market, all the industry partner expect one system can support all the IoT scenarios. And for the 2B scenario in the campus, the people hope we can support new capability in the URC and high positioning and high process positioning, and also the large bandwidth in the uplink. So for the 2B market, the people hope we can provide the internet service and also the information service to help the smart driving. So in the 2C, we can see a very clear trend for the future. One is from 2D to 3D. Another one is AI, generated content, as Alan introduced. So we think in the future, first of all, the resolution will be increased very much. Second of all, the content will increase much more than the human can generate by AI. For the FWA market, we can see 3 stages. First stage is volume-based. Second stage is speed-based. Now, all the operators try to move to the guaranteed speed-based. So the determined user experience is another options for the 5.5G. So for IoT stuff, we can see in 3 areas. First one, for the IoT, wideband IoT. We will support not only RedCap. In the future, we will enhance the SLA capability, the positioning capability, and the URC capability. And also, we will provide the passive IoT for the very low price for the digitalization of the world. For the campus, we can see the industry requires us enhance the URC capability from 8 milliseconds go to 4 milliseconds and 1 millisecond with 5.9 or 6.9. And also for the positioning, require the centimeter level high processing positioning, and also require the large bandwidth in the uplink for the machine vision. So for the vehicle market, we can see today some of the vehicles support the cloud training for the AI. And in the future, they will require more information, such as the sensing information to help the driver and the authority for the smart driving transportation. Yeah. Based on this requirement, so Huawei published the vision of 5G 3 years ago in 2020. First one is for UCBC, because in the future, the cloudification service and the AI service will go to the real market, and so we need the uplink enhancement. Second one is for the RTBC. This is, first of all, we will get ready for the Metaverse. Second of all, we need to provide the guaranteed user experience. And the third new scenario is HCS. We call the harmonized sensing and communication. Beyond the connection, base station will support sensing capability for the car, for the moving objective, and even for the environment, for the digital world. So 5.5G will support 10 times more capacity increase, and also will provide some revolution innovation. For example, the passive IoT and the sensing capabilities, which is a milestone compared with the previous cellular network. So let me share some information about the progress I have made in the past years. First one is 10 Gbps. So a lot of requirements need the huge paper. So for 10 Gbps, we need the large bandwidth. For example, 6 GHz, 400 MHz, or millimeter wave, even 800 MHz. But unfortunately, the coverage of the 6 GHz and the millimeter wave is not so good. So we need the technology to support, to enlarge the coverage with the reasonable cost. We innovated the ELA technology, which only increases the analog part for the antenna element to more than 1,000 elements, and keep the digital part is a reasonable cost, so can enhance the coverage of 6 GHz by 7 dB, which could be similar as 3.5 GHz, and enlarge the millimeter wave to 17 dB, which can enlarge the coverage similar as C-band as well. So the red part is the test result we have made in China, in Shanghai and Chengdu. So the test result shows we could easily get 10 Gbps within one terminal with the 6 GHz or millimeter wave. So another innovation is about the deterministic user experience. Maybe people will say it is impossible for wireless to support deterministic user experience. But fortunately, in release 18, there are some mechanisms and features provide this possibility. First one is MWC. This is called multi-band serving cell, one serving cell. We can merge many bands within one cell. So this provides a lot of flexibility for us to reduce the latency and to meet the burst traffic. Second one is FSA, which is flexible spectrum access in uplink. We all know the uplink always the bottleneck of the network. So how to solve this problem? Release 18 provides this mechanism is we can have a spectrum pooling for all the uplink. The UE uplink antenna can freely select the uplink spectrum based on the channel condition and the traffic demand. So this will solve the error interface deterministic user experience. So the red part, I will introduce the slicing. In 5G, we already support slicing, but how to guarantee the performance of slicing is a big problem. In 5.5G, we have the AI technology. We can use the AI to generate a scope of the slicing in a region, even in a city, to do the joint planning, joint interference control, and even predict the traffic to guarantee the deterministic user experience for the whole region. And also, we will have the layered QoS, which allowed the network negotiate with the content server, content provider, so we can have some more efficient algorithm to support the network capacity. So with the huge network capacity, it's more possible for us to provide deterministic user experience. So with these four key technologies, we believe in 5.5G, we could provide the deterministic user experience for the end customer to support all these cloudification service, XR service, and a future for the car service. So for the 2B area, right now we have 5G already support NB-IoT. NB-IoT used for the low-cost connections. So for 5.5G, we will support SLA capability and positioning capability, URC capability with the red cap to help operator to touch the high-value IoT connections. And also, we will support passive IoT. The passive IoT uses a very low-cost tag, same as RFID. So we use the active signal and the reflect signal to collect all the tag identification information. With the technical innovation, we also support the temperature detector and the humidity detector as well. So we did the test in China. The red part shows the test result. The test result shows we could achieve 10 times more coverage distance compared with the RFID. The passive IoT will provide a huge value in the asset management and the tracking logistic, and also in the production digitalization to enhance the product efficiency for the manufacturing. And the harmonized sensing and communication is a new capability for the network. So the base station can also use the wave, reflect wave, to detect the speed and the distance and the shape of the objectives. Here is a test result in our compass. Along the road, we can detect the car and also the penetration. And also, we can help this to support for the drivers, for authority, and for the car company to provide the information service in the future. This will bring the new opportunities for the operators. So the release 18 already been set up and will be frozen at the middle of next year. We hope we can work together with all the industry partners to accelerate in terms of the spectrum release for 6 GHz for millimeter wave, and also we will get ready for the technologies. This year we are open to have POC with our operator partner to show the use case, the value of the use case, the capability of the network, and and to help the operator to build up the 5.5G. And also, we hope the whole industry can accelerate in terms of the terminal and applications get ready before 5.5G large scale commercial. Okay, thank you. That's my information.
Thank you, Mr. Gao. And now I would like to introduce our last speaker, Ting Fangji, VP of R&D Group at Qualcomm.
Thank you. Yeah, so my talk today is how we're going to, using 5G Advanced, take the evolution to a new height. Before I talk about 5G Advanced, maybe I think it's worthwhile to talk a little bit about what the mission we're trying to accomplish. In general, we have this vision that 5G could actually bring intelligence to the edge. So typically, when people talk about AI, and most of them is happening in the cloud. And of course, there are also device AIs. I think many device vendors, including Qualcomm, we announced some of these very advanced AI processing on the device. But what the 5G can do is actually bring it together and bring the intelligence to the edge of the cloud and allow you to sort of balance the compute and the communication to achieve the optimal performance. So this concept of having this connected intelligent edge is something we are pioneering in 5G, but we also bring this to 5.5G and 6G. So I think this is maybe some of the underlying trend that I think is going to impact how our industry work. So there is some projection on how much 5G is going to impact through both 5G and 5G Advanced. One of the projection was $13.5 trillion in terms of overall digital economy, spanning from not only EMBB, but from manufacturing, agriculture, education, all those areas, right? So this is a lofty goal, and how do we get there? So I think like Bernard and other speakers have talked about these very interesting use cases, what we're trying to solve. My talk will be a little bit on the nerdy side, trying to show you how sausage is made instead of the end product. So this is a timeline. I think John also flashed some of this in terms of the timeline of different releases in 5G. So the first wave of 5G, including 3 releases, release 15, 16, and 17. And we're labeling the next 3 releases of 5G, 18, 19, 20, as 5G Advanced. So that's just how we define it. But in terms of timeline, we are in the middle of the first release of 5G Advanced. It's release 18. The actual spec will be done in about 24 months, in about 1 year. We did announce this chipset. You guys probably have heard about it, the X75, which gave you more than 10 gigabits per second, and it's 5G Advanced capable. But don't ask me which exact feature it's supporting, because the spec of 5G Advanced is not fully done yet. But we have enough hardware engine in there to support many of the advanced features. So this is a sort of a map of what we have done so far in 5G. If you look at it, release 15 is establishing the framework and the baseline of all the 5G technology, basically like coding, modulation, waveform, multiple access, frame structure, mobility, all of them are, the baseline is established in Release 15. Release 16, what the industry has attempted is to expand 5G to new verticals. One of the probably most notable verticals is auto. And it has been, we all know Xilinx over V2X and V2P, those things was introduced in Release 16. And we also introduced positioning, which is the first non-data service that we call it, because doesn't matter what you do with 5G right now, it's still, you're transferring bits. You're still just transporting information. What we want to do is make 5G go beyond just the transport. So this service beyond data is something that we're really trying to accomplish. So Release 16 is the start of it by introducing a positioning. Release 17, we introduced new further verticals, for example, NTN. I think in this, so far, I think this year, almost in every single meeting I attended, people are mentioning NTN satellite. So it's super exciting. What's in Release 18? The menu has been set. I'm going to talk a little bit detail about what's in Release 18. This is sort of setting the stage for the next wave of technology we want to study. Some of them, to be honest, I think probably you'll see large-scale deployment in 6G, but some of them you can really benefit in the next couple of years already. So there is a balance of what we should drive for in 5G Advanced. There are this mobile broadband evolution and the vertical expansion. Which one do you put more effort into? It's a careful balancing act there. How much effort we put into optimizing our EMBB services that's already generating revenue versus introducing new verticals. There is also a balance of immediate commercial need and the long-term vision. That's what I mentioned. Some of these long-term visions are probably even going to keep evolving into 6G. And the last one, of course, different services and the devices versus network side evolution, right? From Qualcomm, we're providing chipset for devices, but as you guys know, we're offering also network side, chipset. I'm not trying to be a network vendor, but we're offering those components as well. So those are the balances we have to do in 5G Advanced. So here is an overview of what's in Release 18, the first release of 5G Advanced. On the left side, you can see these are fundamental technologies we're looking into. And on the right side, you'll see these are actually new devices and use cases we're introducing in 5G Advanced. So I'm going to pick a few examples. I think I'm going to talk about 4 of them. And, but as a big picture, my takeaway probably of my talk is if you can understand this mapping of this advanced MIMO, mobility, IAB, duplexing, AI, ML, green network, if you can capture this type of concept, then you understand what 5G truly brings you, 5G Advanced truly brings you on the fundamental side. And then on the device side, one of the big one there is XR, and another one is further this RedCap evolution. I think that's our X35 chipset is RedCap, and there will be further evolution of that to give you even more capability. So this is one slide in terms of AI. We already have AI everywhere. What's different in 5G Advanced is that this AI is actually a joint AI design of the air interface. Instead of using AI in the network and using AI in the device, they actually talk. Actually, this is AI on both sides will talk to each other, and the air interface itself is evolving based on data, right? So one is the model-based training, another is data-based training. So what this is actually data-based design. That's very different from, you don't have to wait for every 18 months, wait for another drop or release. Actually, air interface is evolving because the air interface is learning. So that's a key concept of the AI in 5G Advanced. It's very different from AI implementation. The second one I want to touch upon is this IoT device evolution. I think John actually gave very good examples in terms of how this IoT is evolving. Basically, Release 17, we introduced, we call NR Lite, in 3GPP called RedCap, reduced capability. release 18 will just keep going down to try to make it lighter and lighter, lower cost, lower power. And we're also looking at the passive IoT, for example. So there is a really good roadmap in 3GPP in terms of how do we serve the IoT and vertical industries. And the third one is positioning. There has been 3 releases of positioning already. Like I mentioned, the release 16 is the first one. We introduced some really awesome 5G positioning. For example, now, because of the implementation of massive MIMO, you could actually use a single cell to do positioning, because you have both distance for ranging and you have this angular resolution. So now you no longer require like 4 cells for downlink TDOA. This is very nerdy, but some of you understand. You don't need these 4 cells to actually pinpoint the user. And vertical accuracy is also really, really good. I think we have demonstrated a couple of years already. It's getting down to like 1 meter accuracy. And the last one I want to touch upon is XR. XR can be implemented over the top, AR, VR. But what's happening here is we're optimizing the air interface for XR, for capacity, for power, for latency, and network slicing, those type of approaches. So these are just the 4 examples. Really, I think the 5G Advanced is going to bring us value. It's also going to be, continue evolving into 6G. There will be many overlap. If you listen to my 6G talk, I'm going to talk about some of the similar concepts as well, including the ML-based air interface. This is just one plug for my MWC team. We have all these demos on Qualcomm.com. We have brought like 20 plus demos into this MWC. If you get a chance, come to Hall 3 and visit Qualcomm booth. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And this concludes the presentation part of our session. Now I would like to introduce our panel and welcome our panelists to the stage. Can I please have Dr. Sharif? Dr. Mahmoud Sharif, Head of Technology and IT Strategy at DO. Siba Tombas, Head of 5G RAN Business Area Networks at Ericsson. Sheldon Yao, Head of Wireless and Core Network Engineering at Kong Telecom. And last but not least, Ronye Vashisha, SVP Telecom at NVIDIA. So welcome, day 3. I guess we've been all busy wandering the halls. So we have 25 minutes to unwrap some of the challenges and some of the use cases of 5G Advanced. So we've heard from the speakers what the capabilities are. We've heard what's the vision. So maybe if I start with you, Dr. Sharif, what are the key use cases 5G and 5G Advanced will enable thanks to greater capacity and faster downlink and uplink speeds? And maybe can we run through some of the trials, proof of concepts, bring it to real life?
Sure, I'll be happy to do so. But let me recap and have some reality check on where we are, excuse me, and why we need to be actually all of us sort of looking forward for 5G Advanced. So I remember 5 years ago in this same forum in 2018, I think whoever was here, we were all saying almost the same thing, which is that triangle of 5G. 3 things we were promising the industry as an industry: speed, ultra reliable low latency, and massive machine type communication. That triangle, almost everyone was using, and we kept using this for many, many years. So 5 years has passed, and let's have a reality check. And from that reality check, we can now understand why 5G Advanced is coming at the right time to cover certain pain points. So when it came to speed, today, we did deliver to a good extent on the downlink. So downlink is fair enough to say that we did, as an industry, deliver. Compared to 4G, definitely we are in a reasonable good shape. But look at the uplink. Actually, the uplink today is almost as good as the 4G. As a matter of fact, when you compare the C-band, which is basically the main spectrum used for 5G, compared to an experience in the same location for an LTE or 4G using a lower band, say 1800. Actually, many times the 4G is even beating the 5G. So, first pain point, most important, that when we promised speed, we only delivered downlink, but uplink has an issue that I will come to explain how 5G advanced, and I think you heard it. So, number two, ultra reliable low latency. As we've seen from the Qualcomm presentation, it's still coming. I mean, commercially, yeah, it's Release 17 is delivering some of these, but commercially today, we really don't have the full capability that we promised in 2018 yet. So, and the real question is, do we really need ultra low latency at this point of time? So we'll discuss this also, why 5G Advanced is coming with this brilliant idea about providing support for XR. Massive machine type communication, that was the overall. I think 5G Advanced is bringing a lot more capabilities that we all look forward. So what is 5G Advanced in a nutshell bringing? Enhancement to uplink, definitely needed. This is a must, really, really a must. Even in the situations where we tried a private network, sometimes the devices are overwhelming the current 5G network in the uplink. So first one, we definitely need it. We should be excited about this one. And today, there is a need definitely for extended reality type of applications. And this needs actually three things. Better spectral efficiency, the downlink, 5G Advanced bringing this. Better uplink, 5G Advanced is also bringing this. And most importantly, low latency, not ultra low latency, but just low latency, enough to actually maintain the experience of extended reality. So I'll stop here because I think if we achieve the uplink enhancements, better spectral efficiency in the downlink, and provide low latency, not ultra low, just low latency, I think commercially we will have a very good opportunity for more revenue for the industry.
Definitely. And Siber, from your point of view, we mentioned networks.
Yes.
They're very, very important. What is your view on this? And maybe discuss some of the use cases that you're working on?
Yes, of course. No, I mean, that definitely is actually quite an exciting time. It's now the 4th year of 5G. We definitely created a quite important platform, and I think it is now kind of live in more than 200 countries. And we are very proud as Ericsson that is 60% of these networks are powered by Ericsson. But what are we seeing definitely now is that time to harvest is coming. So we really see the use cases. Actually, this is the first question we get now in our booth. What is the next step? Yeah. And we have a lot of exciting actually demos and ideas. Maybe I can summarize some of them. We are first of all focusing on the fundamentals. And for me, the slicing is an extremely important, because at the end, when we have one network with limitless use cases, which is the vision, and all these different use cases and devices, they will be having different requirements on downlink and uplink and the speed and the latency. So we need to have the foundation of end-to-end latency. And I think we have a quite good platform, but what are we bringing right now is to having the end-to-end latency on the devices. So we have partnership with Intel, with Microsoft, with Google, to really kind of achieving that now we can have the full end-to-end slice, ensuring that you have different applications mapped to different slice. So if you are working in cloud gaming, you have a latency slice in your exactly same device. If you are having a team call to your work, have a different slice, and all of them can be managed by the network. And this is happening right now. Not 5G Advanced, but that is a foundation. And we have a lot of exciting areas that we are focusing on. The next steps for the use cases, we are definitely seeing XR, and I think it has been reflected in all the speakers. We see that this is going to be an extremely important step, and we believe this will be a quite big paradigm shift in communication, both for consumers and as well as different applications in the industry. And here, we have also a lot of interesting demos and ideas we are looking into. First of all, we are kind of working with different partners on the air interface, because it's a completely different requirements on the network. Yes. Downlink, uplink, everyone talk about, but for me, most importantly, is it's different than the smartphone. Smartphone is about best effort, XR is about consistency. So network needs to have consistent latency.
Yes.
So in that case, we are working with Meta. Actually, we have a demo in our booth working with Meta to actually test cloud gaming with some of the functions that we are bringing on low latency. Actually, not low latency, consistent latency. Actually, maybe we need to change in the industry, not talk about consistent latency, not low latency.
And latency matters very much.
Very much. And that's definitely one use case. And we are working on, again, for remote driving, another one with Deutsche Telekom and their partner Ray. So a lot of different. And one more is the positioning, because we believe it's very important when we go to enterprises for asset training and to really connect the things indoor.
Yeah.
So these are the few use cases we are working with our partners for the next step of 5G.
That's really interesting, and you really see a big difference when you go into 5G Advanced. The positioning goes into centimeters, so that's a massive improvement in there. Maybe Sheldon, if I move to you, we mentioned immersive reality. I think you're doing quite a bit of work on Metaverse already. Could you tell us a bit more?
Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay. In fact, our companies start to investigate the feasibility to put the metaverse into the mobile world. Okay, at the very beginning, okay, all the metaverse or Web 3.0 applications are in the traditional fixed line applications. And when we move to the mobile, we find there's a lot of limitations in the existing infrastructure. Okay, no matter uplink, downlink, latency, all is not sufficient to support this service. So 5G Advanced is crucial in order to make this whole concept mobilize. We have done a lot of tests in this area, like okay, when you're in a Web 3.0 environment, the whole world is moving all together. And it's totally changed in our day-to-day communication standard. Nowadays, we are just communicate point-to-point, one-to-one. In the future, we are communicate one-to-many, and we need to know what's happening, and then making decision almost in real time. So how to also include the AI into all decision-making process that has a real demand in the uplink communications and also in low latency. And what I'm fully aware, the latency actually from 5G actually is not bad. In Hong Kong, the network actually is less than 10 milliseconds already. Okay, but that's not sufficient because it still cannot do we call it the ultra reliable low latency, because the reliability is still not guaranteed. Like you just mentioned, it's inconsistent. How to ensure, okay, we can always interact to the network and then can have an immediate feedback. That is something we need to achieve in the 5G Advanced era.
Yeah, it's important. And Ronnie, turning to you're doing quite a bit of work and you have number of partnerships. Could you shed some light and share with the audience what is that you're working on?
Yeah, sure. So I think a lot has already been said about use cases, so stole my thunder a little bit already, all the presentations. But you know, AI is playing a very, very important role and going to play a more important role in terms of the consistency of being able to attain latency and experiences associated with latency. As we go through the journey of, you know, let's say the metaverse and the experiences of metaverse. Today we really move in an industrial way where you can have immersive experiences. And actually we're working with Ericsson and others and techniques like L4S to enable the more consistent latency. A lot of that relies upon AI frameworks, the reduction of bandwidth requirements that you can achieve by having AI optimizations, going forward AI optimizations of the environment, of the channel estimation and data collection of the environment that you're in, so that you can enable the channel to be, estimation to be accurate to what the environment required. This all requires compute and AI accelerated compute where you need it. Sometimes it may be in the headset, but more often than not, it's on an edge device. And NVIDIA's approach is we build platforms of which partners build things on top of our platforms. But the fundamental platform is accelerated compute or AI. And you need these applications to be resident on top of this accelerated compute AI to enable these types of experiences. Precision location, for instance. You're going to end up probably having an edge compute capability that enables that precision location to be accurate at the FR2 or whatever frequency range you're operating at. You can't deploy that potentially over a wide area network and still have the guarantees that you need. So that's where we're working with, is the partnerships that can build pre-trained libraries or use our pre-trained libraries to enable that consistency of experience.
That consistency, I keep on hearing consistency, it's really important. But we're talking about quite an interesting and brand new devices as well, right? Because when we're thinking about new capabilities, more AI, both on the networks and on device. So should we expect new devices to emerge because of 5G Advanced? And maybe again, I keep on starting with you.
Sure. So basically, I'm excited to say that. So basically, my company, the operator, is one of 2 operators in the United Arab Emirates. We're based in Dubai. So I don't know if you know this, but Dubai is probably like the retail capital of the region, or maybe even the world. So we're excited to actually have working on an extended reality retail experience. Looks looks fantastic, to be honest. It needs a 5G private network with edge compute right on-prem dedicated. So we're excited about this opportunity and this experience that we're actually dealing with. But one of the things we're excited about, because we started to experience that the uplink starts to choke once you have multiple high-definition 360 cameras in these retail areas. So again, we look forward to any enhancement in the uplink. We see that big opportunity for 5G Advanced to actually enhance the experience. So right now, what we're doing is making sure the quality of service is maintained by limiting the number of basically 360 high-definition cameras that are co-located or being served by the radios within the private network. So that's actually one of the use cases we are working on, and again, we look forward in the future to upgrade to the 5G Advanced, and hopefully we're going to even have much more advanced experience in this extended reality world.
Interesting. And Ronnie, probably you're also looking at what sort of potential new devices can emerge because of 5G Advanced. Do you do any work on the device side as well?
We're not really on the device side as much. Outside of potentially the AI that resides on maybe the robots, on some cameras, and AI, local AI, I think it was said earlier by one of the gentlemen, local AI has to be in concert with edge compute AI, cloud AI. There has to be obviously significant advances in devices if you're talking about consumer experiences, because we know the devices today don't provide the consumer experiences that you need, either augmented reality, connectivity between vehicles, or even immersive virtual reality. So, but the AI that's trained and then can be deployed and inferred on the device often is going to be enabling those local experiences to be automated with a wider area AI training.
Interesting. And then thinking about still devices, Sibel, would you like to add anything to that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think maybe the first question is, what is device then, right? So
that's a very good question.
Is it like anything that has receiver is a device? Then probably it is, right? And and when we think about that, anything that will be connected, anything that can be connected and benefit from connected to be connected, then we are talking about, of course, 5G Advanced to bring huge amount of different type of devices. As we consumers, we only talk about what is device that we will have changed because we get used to smartphones in the last 10, 15 years. Yes, but we believe that it will change. I think the device types that we see, it will move towards that something that will enable us a more immersive experience. I think maybe that will then replace smartphones. I think this definitely we believe it will come. But in the short term, if you just look at the medium term, we will definitely see like wearables, we will see different type of devices in consumers. But again, if you just look into the industries and enterprises, we can think about a screwdriver can be a device. It will be a device. It will be a clever device. So I mean, all of them will be connected because that's the whole key. I mean, and I think 5G Advanced is bringing quite a lot of functionalities to be able to, which is needed to be able to lower the cost and the size to be able to scale. Which means that now we will be seeing a lot of small things that will be connected, both replacing what we've seen from the previous technologies, but even more that will be advanced capabilities in the low cost will be scaled in the industry. So I think definitely, I think that's for me the first thing will happen as a next step is we will see wide range of devices.
It's really interesting because especially we've seen during the presentations that IoT would massively benefit from that. So you're saying anything can become really a device. And in the manufacturing sector, that can be potentially quite interesting as well. And I think Metaverse, wearables.
Yeah, I think all over the world right now are a few hot topics. And then, like I just mentioned, the Metaverse, okay, a lot of different verses. And also AI, and also about talking the smart city projects. This is a common discussion point all over the world. And at the back, okay, we not just need a very good 5G network. We need a lot of sensing device, a lot of new type of wearables, in order to not just ensure different these functions can work, but they need to collaborate and work together. Like I just mentioned, okay, in the Metaverse, okay, we have a lot of different kind of sensing device for each individual singles. But we also try to connect to the other one's device at the same time by the 5G. That's one very important functionality that I'm expecting is coming. So you can expect a lot of new devices in order to get to all the network to be trained to make the decision faster. So that's very common.
It'll be interesting to meet here in 5 years' time and see what device is actually going to emerge. And I have already multiple devices on me. I have connected ring, connected watch, and it kind of became part of our everyday life that we have so many things that tell us what to do, or how we feel, how well we slept. And we're running out of time, unfortunately. So are the current 5G networks, we've seen, there is a need for improvement in the uplink, downlink, we kind of get in there. So are the current 5G networks ready to handle those new use cases? So low latency, more uplink, or do we need to make some really, really big changes for this to happen? So what would be the next steps for this to become reality? Because we know the vision. I think we're all on board with the vision, but what are the next steps that really need to happen? Maybe 1 minute each, and start with you, Ronnie.
All right, so just quickly, so I think we're trying to augment the current networks today with maybe private 5G and enterprise 5G, so containing the challenge, containing the problem in the environment as much as possible. So yeah, I don't think really the networks are in place today. At NVIDIA, we work with 10,000 startups using AI. A lot of those startups are starting to think about the kind of technology, devices that we're talking about, use of devices that we're talking about. They're very dependent upon network upgrades and network changes for the type of experience we've heard about.
Okay. Yeah, in general, I mean, I can't stress enough how excited and also looking forward for the enhancements in uplink. Again, comes to my mind in very quick 50 seconds. As simple as a use case, as simple as computer vision for a CNC machine to detect anomalies, for objects. These are existing ones. We tried to do this on 5G, and due to the fact that the machine or the camera looking at the machine is actually very high definition, the 5G network started to choke. So. And this is a real case. We had to actually wire it, literally. We had to wire the camera, which was not fun. I mean, in a factory, you have to wire it. And so again, these are the things we really need as an industry to focus on. What are the needs? Definitely uplink enhancements are needed and needed urgently. So I'll end it here.
And Sibel, from your perspective?
Maybe I will start by challenging that uplink is actually ready. Maybe I can order to say, I mean, one thing is about the technology, but the other thing is about the deployment, right? I mean, in Korea, which is more than 90% population coverage covered by mid-band, their average uplink user throughput is close to 200 megabit per second.
Yes.
This can handle a lot of use cases in terms of capacity, in terms of number of devices, in XR. So I think it's about both, are we ready? And I think when we just look at the 5G deployments today, 80% of the base stations are still missing mid-band. So we cannot deploy 5G with FDD and expect that all of the visions will happen. So maybe that's a bit the truth behind. So we need to be able to invest on the infrastructure to be able to realize our vision. But indeed, we will need to do more enhancements in uplink. On top of it, we need to see if we can further extend the coverage. We need to focus on the capacity improvements with different MIMO schemes and other things. But I actually believe that fundamentals are there even to be able to use these use cases today. But it's not deployed. That's my first thing. But what other things? I mean, as I said, for me, the fundamentals are there. We have deployed in terms of technology with the SA, with the slicing, with good penetration of devices, X75 capable, I mean, the 5G Advanced capabilities are coming. It is there, but it will evolve. But I think for me, in my mind, the one technology that will be needed on top is really the consistency. We are still running best effort. For me, the next few years that we will need to work on is how can we have consistent downlink, consistent uplink, consistent latency, and also to be able to manage all these devices and capabilities in the same network with the best case. I think that's, for me, in my mind, what we'll be working on to be able to realize the vision.
But that requires a lot of investment, because South Korea, the number of base stations is probably a few times more than in any other country. So that's definitely. Last but not least.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to summarize it. There's a few major developments we need to have in 5G. First, of course, is uplink, because we have a lot of data need to be transmitted to the network to have like the edge computing or even the centralized calculations. That's very important. Then the second important will be the low latency, ultra reliable low latency network to ensure we can have a good communication. And then the third area, which is the computation power, how to redistribute. Right now, the computation power in the device, in the UPF, in the MEC, that's very important to make it very efficient communication. And last but not least, is how to ensure when we build so many devices, so many equipment, how to keep it in a good, clean, green network.
Yes, we mustn't forget that
the green.
Yes.
Energy efficiency and sustainability is now top of mind for everybody.
Yes.
Especially as we're going to have more compute, we have to be very careful about that. So we've heard about where are we right now, what are the use cases, what the future holds. I think very excited about the future. Definitely going to see new amazing use cases appearing, new devices, and definitely it will be good to come back in a couple of years' time and see, do the reality check again, as we did with 5G on 5G Advanced. So thank you very much to my panel. Very much appreciated. Now if I can ask Henry to the stage, should we stay here or should we?
Is it on? Yeah, you can hear me. Hello everyone, I'm Henry Calvert from the GSMA, and I'm head of networks there. We thought it would be really nice to capture the moment that we've just actually seen from the 5G Advanced and the progress that's actually been made. So if I could ask the panelists, and then I'll read out some more participants to come up and line up on the stage so we can take a photograph and we can capture this very good moment of 5G Advanced progress. So please, could I also have on stage Bernard Despres, the Vice President, Core Network, Automation, Security, End-to-End Services for Orange, Alan Lowe from Zain, John Gao, President of 5.5G and 5G Advanced Domain from Huawei, Ting Fang Jai, President of Engineering in Wireless R&D, Qualcomm, Gavin Wu, Senior Advisor, Access Engineering and Performance Management from Globe, Tan Cheng Peng, Head of Technology, Strategy and Planning at Maxis, and Mr. Ernest, Head of RAN Engineering, Vodafone Qatar. Could you please, are you all on stage? Everyone here? There you go. A fantastic site. Well, thank you very much for this session today and attending, and that's the end. Cheers.